This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
Oh, we're back. You thought you got rid of us. I tried to get rid of the show, and Robert wasn't having it. He was like, I don't want to be on Recap. I don't want to be on Rumor Mill. I want to be on RulaskaThoughts. Welcome all to the season 18 premiere of RulaskaThoughts. My name's Joe Batanz, and I'm joined as always. I used to say my podcasting boyfriend, but then he started to take it too seriously.
That's not entirely true.
He's the one, the only Mr. Roberto Mata. Hello, Robert.
Hey, Joe. Before I ask you how you're doing, because I could just listen to your litany of shows for that, I have a clarification point, which is, what is the real tea about RulaskaThoughts status? Because on one show, you're telling Lori that I manufactured the entire thing in my head, and then just now you said that it was genuinely at risk of getting the axe.
I don't know. What's reality, Robert?
That's what I'm asking.
No, here's the real tea. Because it's two different events. That's the thing is, and you're I wouldn't say conflating them, but you're merging that, you're stitching them together. So here's the tea. Tea number one is, we did this thing called the Rumor Mill. I'm not sure if I released that on the public feed or not, but we had this show called the Rumor Mill over the summer. If it was in the public feed, okay, and it was very popular. It was very good. And I really do think, I have to be careful what I say on all these shows because everybody's feelings get hurt and all this stuff, right? But the Rumor Mill is a very, very good show, top tier show. But I feel that show could only be done with Nathan. There's just a certain vibe that Nathan is really good on the Rumor Mill. And I was like, he's in another continent. Maybe, the time can be weird. Maybe he should do the Rumor Mill. And then you and I do recap. But then I'll tell you the problem with that. And then I kind of floated that, and Robert got all butt hurt.
No,
Robert didn't get butt hurt about that. Robert,
that is not what happened.
Robert, no, you're right. That is not what happened. Robert was just like, no. Okay. And I was like, all right. Then that's one story. Story number two is Robert. Then there have been times where I forget to mention RulaskaThoughts or
this has actually never happened.
I don't say something and then Robert's like, well, I just assumed RulaskaThoughts was canceled because you didn't mention it on the list of afterthought shows, and I'm like, no, you're just too sensitive.
That has not. Never once have those words come out of my mouth or thoughts entered my head.
There has never been a time where I didn't mention you or the show and you were like, oh, I assumed we weren't doing the show anymore because you didn't mention me.
No, the only time I've mentioned, I didn't think we were doing the show anymore is because, and I'm reconflating here because you defragmented this. was when you told Nathan on one of the last episodes of the Rumor Mill, oh my God, this is so popular. We should keep doing it next season, maybe instead of RulaskaThoughts. And me listening while I was driving, I wasn't butthurt. I was just like, oh, noted. And I need to clarify with Joe later if that's his intention for next year's programming.
Well, my intention would have been to have you on recap and then Nathan on a rumor mill.
Well, you know, my trepidation for recap. Not even trepidation, more like accurate self-analysis.
Which is what?
Which is that I'm not like a comedic powerhouse.
But no, but
I think I'm funny, but I'm not a comedian.
Hold on. You know what? If you would have said that a month ago, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, I would have agreed with you. Okay?
I also said it at dinner, and I said it multiple times throughout the last couple years.
So Nathan already knows this. He doesn't know to what degree and what we talked about, but Nathan knows that there was at the Christmas dinner, everyone there yelling at me about how I manage my shows. I'll just leave it at that.
It did devolve into that sort of, yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then that is how this new show, The Big Takeaway, was created. And in my head, The Big Takeaway is a shoot from the hip, more comedy, less analysis, but still talking about Drag Race show.
I thought you did The Big Takeaway last year.
No.
Where you and Lori instantly react and give people the brief skinny on what happened before the full recap.
Oh, no, okay. That was for All Stars, and we did a show. That was where Lori didn't watch it, and I explained what happened to her. And what was that called?
A show by any other name.
Some other show. We called it something else. And no, this show, Lori and I watch it, and then immediately after we both watch it, we get on and we shoot the breeze about what just happened. The big the part where I go like, "Were the right two queens in the top?" What was your big takeaway? We do all that on that show, and that one's light and breezy and not. And then the recap is beat by beat by beat, which lends itself now that they're separated. One can be more serious, and the other can be more comedic. So I already have the comedy handled. Honestly, the big problem with you doing, I love having like a show business talk right now. And I don't mean like show business. I mean the business of this show. I think the problem is that, Drag Race needs to be done on a regular basis. And unfortunately, because they dropped the show on Fridays, like Saturdays. And I don't think you're available on Saturdays.
I am very rarely available on Saturdays.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
In a consistent manner, at least.
Yeah.
And so that is really now the reason why I have it. Because then I would have just brought back the rumor mill. Because if you think about it, now that we're doing this show, we're having a third show now that recaps the show.
You should get a show where you recap your recaps.
We had that, and then people have done that a couple of times. I can't do it, obviously. I can't recap my own recap. And then they go crazy.
We could hire and fly out Anisha Lopez to come and provide commentary.
That's a good idea. Did you see she melted down because the winner of Camp Wanakiki's podcast talked shit on her? And
it wasn't even talking shit on her. No. That's the best part.
Yes, it made a point that I have made. Which is, why are they flying out Elimination Lopez to Chicago every fucking week when they could just hire a local girl? Chicago has plenty of local girls.
To be quite frank, not that I'm incredibly integrated or even have been to North Halstead in the longest, but if I were going to a viewing party, I would not want to stand in that sweaty ass Roscoe's back room, and I would much rather hop my silly ass across the street to Sidetrack where there's much more space. And I think at least at the time, I think it was Alexis was hosting there, the viewing parties.
It's so funny that you say that is because every time I'd seen a video or any video that I'd seen of Roscoe's, it was only just, from the POV of the audience of the stage. So I had no idea how big that room is. And then for the first time, I saw they for some reason showed a reverse shot And I was like, that room is tiny.
Yeah, girl, it's Hotel Cafe. They think they're in Manhattan or something.
Yeah, I thought it was like a big, I thought, because like Precinct is a good example. That big room is not super huge, but I thought it was equivalent to that. And it is not. Like, it's like half of that.
Precinct, I'd say, is one of the more spacious drag venues I've frequented, really, actually, or even been
it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Did you catch that moment on during, I think it was the mini challenge, when Rue made a reference to Roscoe's and wanting some chicken, and I think people at Roscoe's thought that he was referencing them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for people who don't live in Los Angeles, there is a storied fried chicken and waffles chain called Roscoe's. And that's what she was referring to. It's so fun. Is there an actual video of them thinking that?
There was some recap that I read on Reddit where apparently the audience got really loud about it, assumedly thinking it was them. And I chuckled to myself like a little dragon lizard. Just
I've rarely heard her mention gay bars other than Mickey's. She loves talking about this old bar that doesn't exist anymore called Peanuts.
The Limelight.
Oh, the Limelight. There's like a few that she'll mention, and then that's it. She doesn't know. She doesn't even know who Alyssa. I almost said Alicia Edwards. Alyssa Edwards is.
Do you think there were gay bars in like Bethlehem?
Girl, not this. Proving why he shouldn't be in the comedy drag race podcast.
Well, no, it's not even a comedy thing. I'm just genuinely wonder, when is the soonest the gays started collecting?
Okay, now we're getting into real gay history here, because homosexuality as relationship with men as a concept didn't even start until the 19th century, which is wild, right? It's wild. But not until like the 19th century does that even concept even evolve, right? Which is both wild and hot, because to me, what that means implicitly is, and we think we all know this is true, that sex with men was just seen as some sort of like fetish. And as long as you weren't on the receiving end, you're GTG, And so, so I would say then you have these, these like secret gay bars, like little lounges where they would congregate. There's a video. I wish you could find it. I haven't, by the way, when I say I wish, I haven't even looked. But I saw this old video from the UK, and it's from like the early 70s. And they're talking to these really old British queens. They're like in their 80s or something, right? And these guys are talking about the early 1900s when they would just hang out at the porch during like Fleet Week and talk. They would, in vivid detail, go into detail about the fucking crazy ass sex that they had just right there.
Well, it is Fleet Week. Did I say Fleet?
Yeah.
I meant to say Fleet.
And how that the cops knew, and they would kind of walk by and be like, "Stop it, boys," but didn't really do anything,
Oh, stop it, boys.
Stop it, boy. Well, it's so funny. In an old episode of Catching Up, my co-host Mike Lawson, he used to go to this bar in the Bay Area. Maybe you know what it is. It had a weird name, like Man Thrust or something like that, right? And he was talking about
the stud.
I don't remember. I feel like it was in Oakland, and that there would be people in this like back area that would be full on fisting. But I guess that wasn't allowed. And so it's every once in a while, an employee would go in the back and to go, "Hey guys, stop it," and then just go back, not even caring, and just go back inside the bar. It was full on just fisting going on.
That sort of stuff would happen just straight up out in the open at the Phoenix in New York.
Okay.
Not that there aren't plenty of bars where that. I mean, just it was implicitly understood that if you want to suck some dick, I don't know about full on fisting, but if you want to get into like adult cruising without having to go to any like illicit place, like a place where you can genuinely use your credit card and buy beer, the Phoenix was the spot.
You know what? I've only been to the LA Eagle, but I hear stories about these places that are like that. And I don't know about the LA Eagle. I've only been a few times. But I feel like the LA Eagle is a watered down version of the one in New York. Have you been to that one in New York?
Yes. It's like there are like, and also quick edit. It wasn't the Phoenix. I'm sorry for the Phoenix. It was the Cock, which obviously makes a lot more sense. I just recalibrated my mind. But the Eagle in New York, it's like a vertical maze, which makes sense because it's New York. Mm-hmm. Just multiple floors of foolishness.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the Eagle in LA is just one big expanse.
Are there any places in New York, I know you lived in New York for a time, that you miss?
Well, I miss it so dearly. Like, because this was the first club that I was going to when I was genuinely fucking 19 with my little fakie. I don't know if that should be said. Whatever. I'm 33 now. Also, another point, I have no problem being above 30. I raised my hand willingly and hopefully. I've been the age 32 since I was like 15, but I have age euphoria right now because I'm finally the age in my body that I am in my head. But regardless, Club XL at the Out NYC was the moment, and someone on Reddit also recently posted, maybe it was Reddit or maybe it was Instagram. They posted an advertisement for the season 5 premiere party, and it had all 4 winners hosting the event, like all previous 4 winners at the time, and Snooki and JWoww also hosting, and Bianca Del Rio was commenting. I'm like, could you imagine being in the room at that time?
The one that made her go on the show.
Maybe. Well, isn't the rumor that Sharon said aside, or was it Willem?
I thought it was Jinx, actually.
Jinx? Why would Jinx say something nasty like that?
I thought it was one of... Okay, so people don't know what we're talking about. Bianca has told a story that she was hosting this crowning event, right?
Well, the crownings are usually at stage 48, but this was a premiere party at Club XL.
I thought it was the crowning.
That's what I thought too, which would mean that maybe this wasn't that event.
Oh, okay. But so just tell people what the story I'm talking about. Bianca Del Rio hosted an event, we'll say, where the top 4 were there. And we'll just say all of them were really nasty to Bianca, like in almost kind of who are you kind of way. You know, we don't know who you are. You're not a Ru girl, blah, blah, blah. And said something nasty. I don't remember what it was. And she was like, okay, bitch, then I'm going to go on this show and I'm going to win. And she did, the following season. That's what I was referring to. Anyway, so go ahead. So to imagine being there.
Oh yeah, that's the place I miss in New York.
Speaking of missing places in New York, season 18 premiered this week. And there's a whole new batch, 14 new queens. We've covered the show already 2 times, but now this is the time where we take a deeper dive, maybe talk about things we may have missed, things that may have developed since then. But first, let's get Robert Mata's take on this episode. Robert, what was your take on this episode?
Last season we had a lot of criticisms, mostly directed at the format of the show. And I find that almost all of them were addressed for this season. It's been talked about endlessly, but we have an older cast of queens, very few of these baby queens who haven't done much or anything. So that's good. The godforsaken talent show is gone. Thank God. And in general, it wasn't a double premiere. I personally like it when all the queens come in at once. So all of my concerns about the production had been addressed. And I like all the girls. That said, and I, of course, also appreciate the return to form with using an unconventional materials challenge as the first challenge. All this positive, good, I like all this ingredients came together to make a soup that I'm still kind of fairly neutral on, actually. I didn't find myself as juiced as other people were at the bar watching it. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, that was an episode. And onward I go back home to Hyrule Warriors.
Wait, hold on. You watched this at a bar with people? So this is a good question. So the bar was into it.
The bar was into it, if only because I think there's a little bit of a sunken cost fallacy in the sense that we all went through a torrential downpour to get there after 2 days of New Year's Eve day partying. So they were going to be into it regardless. Also, I think it helped that for some reason, even though this bar hosts viewing parties constantly, they did not realize that the show was not on Paramount Plus, ready and able to be streamed. They left on multiple college games for about 3 minutes after 8 p.m. Like they forgot they were hosting a viewing party to begin with. So we just got to see them fumble around desperately trying to figure out how to put this shit on the screen for like about 5 to 10 minutes. And I don't know about you, but I love that kind of public mess. So, and plenty of other people were laughing and applauding. So we missed most of the entrances by the time the show was finally put on.
Yeah.
But honestly, it kind of elevated it for me.
So, there's been a lot of discourse, which is weird, of people going, where is this show? And I blame World of Wonder and RuPaul's Drag Race and Viacom for this. But there is a part of me that's like, bitch, it's been on MTV this is its 8th year, on MTV. It's always been on MTV. Paramount Plus is for All Stars. Now, why they don't put it on Paramount Plus the next day, I don't understand that part, or 2 days later or something. They wait till the whole season is over, and that's weird. But, by the way, a guy who's doing that with his own public feed, but okay. Yeah. So I get that. Okay, so but what about this? So what's so funny, Robert, is I agree with you. I have positive sentiment towards this season, even if it is it seems like milquetoast. Almost like they put everything everybody has been bitching about into an AI generator and it spit out this season. We shall see. It looks like Briar Blush is maybe starting to develop as the villain of the season, as is this Discord Adams. So maybe if we have some good old fashioned gay faggotry villainy, that might be a good thing, and inject this into some life into this. But you're right. It's pleasant. I like what I'm seeing. I think it's going to make for a good competition. I'm cautiously, I wouldn't even say optimistic. I'm cautiously watching to see how this develops as a reality television show. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because as far as reality TV goes, and I will say I got a kick out of this too, and it will probably continually make me laugh. There wasn't much fanfare. What we got was the magic of them flipping a light switch and turning it on. and it's just like the table of homos that I was sitting at, like I had already started griping about it. I was like, oh my God, this looks like a Canada's Drag Race Untucked scene with all the lights off. They're in the workroom and they're just like kind of muttering, which isn't a problem because I do love Canada's Drag Race. But it was just a strange spatial visit to the Canadian part of the multiverse at the time. But then just to have so much fanfare about turning the lights on, at least by that point, the gays I was with and the bar at large, I think they enjoyed the stupidity of, oh my God, like we're gag. Let there be light. It's so dumb. Like that's what they use their premiere budget on, or lack thereof, I guess.
Yeah, I did think that there was going to be more to the lights being on. I didn't know what it was going to be, but it really was. Let's turn on the lights.
That's just one switch, girl.
Yeah. So, but were there any moments on the show, any look that stood out to you, anything deep? The premiere, and by the way, before you guys, I know, start writing your letters about Robert and whatnot.
Wow.
Premiere episodes generally, for the most part, don't have any really deep going on. Too many queens. They're all still putting their best face forward. Not a lot's going to happen for a few episodes, but any big moments here that you wanted to talk about?
I think the queen that I most quickly, as a camp silly icon, gravitated towards was Didi Fuego. Mm-hmm. Particularly elevated by the fact that I fully thought she was like Scandinavian, but she's from Monterrey, and she says it better than I do on top of that. So I think, and her baked potato cape, everything about Didi Fuego is making me chuckle at the moment. Will she be Joella Light? We'll see.
We'll see. We'll have to wait to see for a few episodes. Were there other than Didi Fuego, were there other drag queens or contestants that really excited you, that you didn't like, that you loved? Anything?
I liked Vita a lot, although I wish they gave her more confessionals because I don't have a sense of who she is beyond the poise, and I realize that's the most annoying, frequent, beaten to death critique about pageant queens on this show, but at least as of right now, it's the honest truth. And I liked Athena because even though she does look like an amalgamation of 5 different queens,
she really does.
Is also providing some gravitas that I yearn to receive from this show. So I like to see it. And also I was interested to actually see the person behind Juicy because I've seen her perform at brunches in Miami. And I've never gotten a clear look at her because she's constantly upside down and sideways and flipping in the air and twisted.
Oh, so you've seen her before?
Yeah, I think she's one of the only queens I was familiar with before the cast announcement.
You mean,
which I guess kind of reveals how much I have my finger on local drag lately.
You didn't know LA icon Darlene Mitchell?
I don't know who that is, and I don't know why she thought it was so outrageous that her name was trash. Especially given we have a fairly well-known and successful drag queen named Ella Twink Trash currently.
Is she actually Twink Trash?
I don't know her like that.
Okay, so now so is that everything you have to say about the episode? Nothing else?
Well, I have one thing, but I think I was like wrong to think this, and my friends told me I was wrong to think this. But I'm curious about your thoughts, actually.
Yeah, sure.
I've seen a lot of praise for Cardi B bringing out quote unquote her dolls, but I just found it like really odd how they basically didn't talk and were kind of just like property of her. She kept saying my dolls, these like my people, my trans girls, and then like wouldn't let them actually speak much for themselves. And then Cardi B also like referred to like your community as if she's also not a part of the LGBT community, which I found was strange. I just found the whole talk to be like a little stilted, but people seem to really like it. So I know that I'm going against the grain there.
What did your friend say was wrong about what you said?
They said that it doesn't matter about that they're just grateful that they got some screen time at all. And I think that they're right. And I'm just being a bit of the friend that's too woke about it. It just felt very, I'm a straight girl and these are my gays type of thing. And I know Cardi B's not a straight girl. I'm not calling her that. I'm just talking about
what you're saying. So I'm going to bring my
the energy of the way that queer people are kind of commodified at times as being someone else's property.
So I don't know that much about her. Is she not straight?
I don't know if it's like a Lady Gaga I'm bisexual in 2009, straight in 2012 type of thing, but that was, at least when I was on Twitter, the talk of the town. But I'm also not out there with my clipboard checking every celebrity's sexuality.
Well, there is that whole like I'm going to label it the Billie Joe Armstrong bisexual too. What you see with men where they're like, I'm bisexual, but I'm not with a man. I'm married to a woman, and the end.
Got it.
And
well, maybe.
I'm not even sure Billie Joe
what I was
Armstrong's
referring to in terms of like women using gay men as purses sometimes.
Yes, 100%.
It felt a little bit like Cardi B using her dolls as dolls.
Accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, and I wasn't like even fully 100% like all the way in on that opinion. It just kind of came off like that. So I asked my friends if they felt similarly, and then I got a lashing for it. So
I kind of feel like how do I put this? I kind of feel like the way I relate to it, I see what you mean, is that I know people, Chicanos, if you will, Mexican Americans who get a little successful in business, and all of a sudden they want to have people. They want to have teams. They want to have their computer guy, and they're this and they're that. They want to have people. And I could see it being in a world, and I think this is kind of where you're getting at too, is that these are Cardi B's people. She has people. And then there's the element of, yes, that they're accessories, and she's trying to show off, like, look, I'm hip to your community because I have. Are they both trans girls? I know one of them is, at least. I
feel like when you're referring to them as the dolls in the current climate, that's to be sort of implicit.
Yes, because our friend Christian referred to anyone as dolls. So I didn't know in the nomenclature where they fell. Whether they were Christian Ochoa dolls or conventional LGBTQ notion of dolls. And so,
Good point.
so maybe that's what it was. Let's move on to the next thing here. I realized I never took a break. Whatever. There's going to be a break this episode. Ginger Minge. Is Ginger Minge a liar? So if people don't know, who are not chronically on Drag Race drama online, Ginger Minge went on the Kelly Mantle show and told a story about, not even a story, just shared her disappointment that when All Stars 10 was airing and everybody online was attacking her, that none of her fellow contestants, with the exception of Mistress and Georges, was it? I don't know, Mistress and somebody else. With the exception of those two, no one else reached out to her to ask if she was okay. And it led to, well, it first started with fellow contestants like Irene the Alien and Bosco and somebody else too. Diabetes coming out and calling bullshit. Essentially, I think Diabetes' point was I did call her, and all she ever did was talk about herself the whole time. And then this led to this huge avalanche of other Drag Race girls chiming in about what a liar she is. People finding old posts from Bob the Drag Queen's different podcasts or appearances where he talked about what a liar Ginger is. And so now it's just a whole thing is Ginger is a liar. I know she went on the Nicole Byer podcast and addressed this. I think she went on some other podcasts and addressed this. Yeah, there was, I think it was on the, what other show she went on, she said that she and Roxy were really close, and Roxy was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I always go back to the fact that she said she was 29 in season 7. Robert, where do you fall on this Ginger is lying thing? And did I miss anything?
God. I mean, there are a few points here and there, like Princess Poppy posted in support, which you would expect because the girl's a troll, and a funny one. And that's like, of course she loves that kind of silliness. There's like Cynthia Lee Fontaine saying that she's heartbroken because, oh my God, I reached out to you, Ginger, so many times. Is that worth nothing? Yeah. Alyssa Hunter sent memes of herself, which was camp. Like there are, despite the fact of me knowing all this incredibly niche, pointless nonsense, I will say at the core of it, I repeat what I said at the beginning of season All Stars 10, at the end of All Stars 10, and when I saw her at the Vegas live show last year. No hate, but I just don't give a fuck about Ginger Minge. Like, why are we talking about her so much? She's not that interesting a character or persona to merit this much conversation. That said, it is like so messy that even Fifi decided to come out of the woodwork and start saying shit. Like, drama abounds at the moment. So I think the problem that Ginger has is the same one that everyone really realized during the whole Katya is my best friend.
Oh, was that one too.
These are my secret ruby red slippers. Cynthia Erivo did a war battle scream, and she's like all these things.
I forgot about that one too.
I don't know why I know all this, but all of these are somewhat possibly in some universe believable lies. And
wait, hold on for a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
I need some explanation for the audience and for me. I don't know the secret Ruby Red Slippers one. What is that one?
That's the All-Star 6 monologue challenge.
Oh, and the dad found them or something? Or
I think maybe, and then like her mom secretly bought them for her for Christmas or something.
okay.
As you can
And
tell,
then-
I'm not fond of rehearing it because,
Yeah.
again, it's a realistic sounding story that only serves to aggrandize Ginger, the person, either as a victim who suffered hardship and has succeeded, or, oh my God, let's just pay more attention to this overly histrionic person in our life because such crazy, unique, special things happen to her. And we all know people like that in real life, and I don't need to see it from Ginger fucking Minge. But my point is that she's not taking it far enough so that these ridiculous lies are actually entertaining and funny and like if you just lean the fuck in, then it becomes entertaining and fun. But her lies are all like lame shit about lame things that one doesn't need to lie about.
Just to go back a little bit, the Cynthia Erivo scream thing or whatever is Ginger claimed that on the set, I don't remember if it was asked for or just done, but that Cynthia Erivo did that, that like, that she just did that for the girls on All Stars 10 when she and Ariana Grande were the judges. And the other contestants came out and said that never happened. So that's,
No, it's like Ginger saw the Target commercial and thought that she was in that Target and it happened to her.
yeah. But then there is a part of me, and I actually thought about you when this was all going down, and people were commenting that this is the kind of cracked out drag queen shit that we live for anyway.
But it's not cracked out enough.
Like it's not
Robbie
my Uber driver
Turner
died.
is cracked out lies.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so fun. Dr. Helen Schaefer Gray cracked out lies. And that's why she's so fun.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, hers are just more like they're too realistic sounding, you're saying. They're not funny enough to be like campy lies. They're just like no one reached out to me. They're like everyone hates me, or I was standing next to Roxy when she was crowned, and Robert doesn't want to do RulaskaThoughts, and those kinds of lies you're talking about.
Also, and I know that this is casting the lie allegations aside, why would Ginger be upset that after she won 200K in more or less like a producer-driven narrative, that all of her castmates who also wanted that 200K and would have loved to have benefited from producer favoritism like that, like she expected them to reach out to her and ask if they're okay? Like, would I reach out to someone who got a job I wanted and say, "Oh, are you okay? Is everything going to be fine?" Ask me, bitch.
I saw it this morning that she said that she felt All Stars 10 was rigged against her.
Oh my God. You got me there because I don't even have anything funny to say about that.
Yeah, that's why there might be something entertaining to it. So I'm gonna posit this. Could it be that it's so campy and entertaining not because the lies are great, but how much they're enraging the girls? Because here's what I'll say about Robbie Turner's lies. Robbie Turner's lies were outrageous, but they didn't involve the other drag queens. They were always very so that happened kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know. Because the Uber one's the one everyone remember, but that was a mounting Robbie Turner's line thing because she was always like at an airport and she had the right quip at the right time and everyone applauded and all kinds of things like that. This is before the Uber stuff. So
it got to the point where I couldn't even believe that she got her name Robbie Turner from a book as she claimed.
Yeah, exactly. So with Ginger, the lies aren't great, but the way the drag queens are reacting, the way she's getting them all worked up is super funny.
Yeah. Yes, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend Ginger's a mastermind for it. I'm going to just instead think that all the people who are getting involved in this maelstrom of lies are the funny ones because they decide to keep the drama going. Ginger didn't think this was going to happen, I think.
I like when they come on and say, when they go on, then they go, okay, guys, everybody, we have to stop doing this so that the season 18 queens can have their moment, you know? And I'm like, this is more fun.
Have the season 18s come out with even a shred of drama in the last few days?
Well, that's what, the drag queen fight. If I were a drag queen that's in the RuPaul drag race sphere, I would just start making lines up about Ginger. Like, oh, Ginger, punch me in the left tit kind of shit.
That's my new drag name, Ginger Lies.
Ginger Lies. That should be your new drag name. All right, well, Robert, why don't we do this? Why don't we call it a day there? We've given the people a full show. What does she have going on over the next week?
What a great question. I can't wait to find out myself. It's the new year, and God, what I don't know what to say, Joe. What did you have going on this week?
I'm taking some co-workers to the Magic Castle.
Fun.
And, well, it's going to be interesting. I've talked about this. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this on the shows on the public feed, but fuck it, I'll say it. I'm very curious because these are people who... The boy didn't own a suit, and the two girls are trying to find old prom dresses. And by the way, they don't know where they're going. They just know they're going somewhere where they have to dress up. And they know the dress code and everything, but they have no idea where they're going. And I'm very curious to see how they react, because they're the kind of people, I don't know if you know anyone in your family or whatnot, but they're the kind of like working class Mexican Americans who it could be a very bad experience for them.
Because they'll feel self-conscious being surrounded by people who they think are exclusive.
I made this exact point. I was just telling someone, I go, the Magic Castle is really good at it, but I think the biggest illusion that the Magic Castle does, it is exclusive. I think the exclusivity adds to it, but they don't know it's exclusive, and they don't have any concept of that, right? But when you go in, the Magic Castle does a good job of making you think, oh, this is like a highfalutin place.
Exactly.
You have to do a little scratching to be like, it's just... Don't get me wrong, I love the Magic Castle, but I'm just saying that these people might think they're going into like the lap of luxury,
Yeah.
And I think they could have, and I'm not being funny, I think there could be either a muted or negative reaction. I'm very interested to see what happens.
Well, the very first time I went there with you for dinner, I was waiting in the line, and the dude in front of me was not wearing formal enough shoes, and the, for lack of a better term, bouncer or hostess or whatever you want to call the person letting bitches in at the front, told him straight up, there's a Marshall's down the street. You're going to have to go get better shoes. Like I saw a Mean Girls moment in real life.
It's funny that you say that. I was talking about the dress code, and they were asking about, like, could they get away? And once you say, "Can I get away?" No.
Yeah, no.
The answer is no. There's no getting away. It even says it
on the dress code, like, use your best discretion. If you have any concern, the answer, like, no.
Yeah. I know people, and this is true. They encourage this. If you have a question, they say, "Send us a picture, and we will tell you." But you're right. Use your best discretion. If it's almost like that thing of like, if you have to ask a lawyer, the answer is no, kind of thing. It's the same thing with the Magic Castle. They asked me that, can I wear sandals? I was like, no.
Well, I'm surprised you're doing this at all, because wasn't it like one time you took a cousin or something and they sat in the front row at the main magic show and they embarrassed the hell out of you and you swore never again? No. Or was that a Ginger Minge moment? No,
not Ginger Minge. You're very close. So I have these two cousins who... they're actually some of my favorite people to take to the Magic Castle. They're sisters, right? Because whenever they take people, they first of all, I don't have to do shit. They know the dress code. They know the Magic Castle layout anyway, and they get these people in fucking line, right? I do nothing, okay? And one of the things they tell their friends or whatever when they take people is, my cousin's getting us in. This is an exclusive club. You don't have to buy dinner. You don't have to do any of that stuff. So as a result, you all have to like take care of him, right? And so I don't pay for nary a drink when I'm there. People are trying to buy me drinks, and they're very lucky because I don't drink more than a couple of beers, right? And but one time she took a coworker, which is so funny because you would think she would have known. One of the cousins took a coworker. He was a gay. I think she thought I might like it because he was a gay, right? He was a gay who was so outrageous, and I mean that in the negative sense. He showed up to this thing with a huge, giant, bouncer-looking Mexican guy. Okay?
What?
Yes, and it turned out he had to go to places with a bodyguard because he was so fucking obnoxious. People would try to beat the shit out of him. And so he proved that night why the friend she brought, needed to have a bodyguard. He had a bodyguard with him. He paid this man to go.
You think I would see more of that living in Los Angeles, but you don't. And I think a few WeHo gays could, use a bodyguard or two, quite frankly.
I have seen this now with some of these YouTube pranksters. The ones that are more popular, they do walk around with a bodyguard. Yeah, it was like that. He would do this obnoxious shit and then just hide behind this huge, giant Mexican guy. Who was nice, by the way.
Ugh, don't make me mad at the end of a show.
The Mexican guy was nice. I mean, he was just doing a job, but no,
the Mexican guy sounds lovely. He might be my cousin. I'm talking about the obnoxious gay who required one.
Yeah. So what Robert is talking about is there was a show, and these are small rooms, and he was in the front row, and in the middle of the show, I don't know why I'm totally pantomiming this, took a phone, his cell phone, and was like, "Hello," like at this volume, at the volume of hearing, I'm at the magic during the show, Robert.
Ew.
And even the magician and the whole audience was like, they couldn't believe what they were seeing.
Like, you shouldn't even do that during Avatar Fire and Ash, even though it sucks ass.
You know what's so funny is, she was lucky that she did this during a renegade era of the Magic Castle, but now they've really tightened up. I don't know what the right term is here, but I would be in big trouble. Joe Batance, would have been in big trouble. They would have brought me up on an ethics charge. You're not allowed to bring people like that. So now I'm much more careful. All right, why don't we call it a day there, and I will update you guys next week about how this Magic Castle trip went.
DSW, Designer Shoe Warehouse, is the one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between, for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW has what you need, but more importantly, they have what you didn't even know you wanted. You never know what you'll find at DSW. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.